Hi. In this episode of Jesus 101, I'm explaining why I'm not a Calvinist. Christian history has too many examples of major schisms based on rigid interpretations of Scripture that apply logic built on Western philosophy. Applying modern Western reasoning to ancient Near Eastern texts can lead to errors. Not every true statement of Scripture can be taken as a proposition for arriving at additional truth through classical Greek logic. Consider this simple example of how classical logic quickly leads to error when taking truth statements of Scripture as propositions. Jesus Christ was a man. This is true. All men have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. This is a truth statement of Scripture. But Western logic would conclude that therefore Jesus sinned, when it's also revealed in Scripture that Jesus did not sin.
It's not about being someone else. There's healing in being true. But there is room at the cross for you.
The second major error often made in historical church schisms is that Scripture, this is wrong, this is a wrong idea, thinking that Scripture is intended to answer nearly every doctrinal question devised by the mind of man. We would do well to cultivate humility, realizing that while Scripture is designed to make us wise for salvation and to train ourselves to distinguish good from evil, some of our doctrinal questions may be unanswered. Everything we need for life and godliness might not include having every possible doctrinal question answered. Even the Apostle Paul, he saw and he heard things that he was not permitted to tell, and he testified in Scripture that we know in part. One thing we're told explicitly that we won't know is the day or the hour of Jesus' return. Thus, I'm not a 5-point Calvinist because I don't think Scripture speaks to all of those points with the level of certainty needed to support the historical schisms that arose and that many Calvinists maintain to the present day. The error includes the sin of pride when one adheres so closely to these doctrines that one regards other Jesus followers as not belonging to Jesus at all, or when one considers them second-class citizens in God's kingdom if they don't agree with the same doctrines. Jesus is not opposed to litmus tests, but the doctrinal litmus tests for baptism, for fellowship, and for leadership should be much fewer than commonly used by most Christian groups today. In contrast, in my experience, most churches are failing to properly apply many of the biblical character tests as ongoing requirements for fellowship and for leadership. Of course, it's easier to test doctrinal minutiae than to test the character required of elders and deacons. Let's get back to following the instructions and judging trees by their fruit.
The good life is the land where the big grapes grow, milk and honey flow from the morning till the night, and everybody's singing to Jesus. Yeah, the good life is the land where the big grapes grow, milk and honey flow from the morning till the night, and everybody's singing to Jesus.